We'll begin. Big Ten Media Days. Day one was yesterday. They're Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Their commissioner, Tony Petitti, he had things to say. He reiterated. That means he reemphasized. He restated. But he reiterated that the Big Ten believes that we should have 24 teams in the CFP. He said that the Big Ten is poised. They can get rid of their championship game in time for the new format to begin in 2027. Quote, the faster it goes, the easier it'll be. So the Big Ten has not backed down. They've not softened. They've not changed their stance on the 24-team college football format. And for those, it's been nice. I don't think the 24-team talk has been a thing for a good 2 to 3 months, and it's been refreshing. I think 24 teams is a joke. I think 24 teams will kind of be the destruction of the regular season. I'll explain that in a second. And the Big 12, ACC, and Notre Dame are all with the Big Ten. The SEC very much stands alone in the want for the 16. A 24-team format, CFP, will lessen everything about the regular season. There'll be no urgency. There'll be no need to play anyone but one AA in the non-con. When you can have 3 losses guaranteed and maybe 4 and make a college football playoff format, there's no tension to regular season games. I think that, and remember something, currently college football is more popular than it's ever been in its existence. And you can measure that by TV people watching the numbers or ticket sales, people going. Even though it's horrifically overpriced, even though they have the start, we can list all these little complaints we have as fans. We're tired of NIL and we're tired of being asked to donate more money. And, we're sick of player free agency and no one, all these little complaints are irrelevant. It's never been more popular. But if you go to 24, and from 24, we'll do 32. I mean, eventually we're going to have 144 teams in D1 and we're going to have a field of 64. I mean, 24 and up, it will change our perception. We'll realize, because every expense, remember when we went to 4, bowls will be meaningless. We go to 8, we go to 12, and the regular season. No, even with 12, the regular season games mean something. You can have 2 losses and get in. But this past year, even that statement wasn't true. Ask 10-2 what Vanderbilt. So we're still in a world where every game means something. You know you can have 1 loss. That's a reality. But once you suffer that loss, you don't sit there and go, oh, that game didn't mean anything. You're now living on the edge. You know you no longer have that 1 loss. But in a 24-team playoff, and you know that you can have 3. 9-3, insert a team from the SEC Big Ten, you're going to be in. 3, you can lose 25% of your schedule. If you take out tension, you're going to have boredom and complacency. You're just going to say, can it hurry up and be December already? Where that's not true now and never has been true. When we start putting in, and currently in the 12, we had 3 teams that had no right being in a college football playoff already. You expand to 16, 25% of the field, going to be pretty mediocre. 14 was elite. 14, and we had blowouts there, by the way. The more we start watering down, and we're going to create a college football version where regular season games are meaningless because my 4-loss favorite team is going to be in, and we know that 8-4 just isn't that impressive. We're going to have 24 teams in, and I would argue that 10 of them we know are average. They're barely above the good status. We're going to have the field of really good. In old days, it used to be great and elite. Fans are not idiots. They're not just going to keep feeding us games, and because the word playoff is in the title, we're not going to sit there and ooh-ah it. There is a breaking point to this. I think 24. 16? I get that number and I get why they want it. But I know 16 is going to include teams that aren't playoff worthy. And, this is where Lou math is good. 24 is 8 more teams than 16. They'll add 8 more teams not playoff. The field of very good. The Hall of Fame or the Hall of Very Good is what this playoff format's about. Am I going to quit watching? No, of course not. But we keep watering down Hall of Fame, Hall of Very Good. That's what N24 will destroy the tension of the regular season easily. Your team loses 1 game. Who cares? 2 games. Who cares? 3 games. Who cares? Really? It means nothing. So the Big Ten, still 2014. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti was boasting. I think that could be the correct word. No, boasting. He made it clear their dominance, their current success over the SEC. He pointed out that the Big Ten has won 4 college football playoff games in a row, directly head-to-head with the SEC. The Big Ten's won 3 straight national championships. The Big Ten has 11 wins by 7 different teams the past 2 years in the 12-team CFP. You know what? The SEC has 5 wins total. Brett Ciancia, Pick 6 Previews, and I debated strength of conference. His valuation, which league has the most teams that can play for the national championship, is the stronger conference, and the SEC dominates that. Now, the Big Ten is the league that's actually winning them. What do you think of those data points? The Big Ten has won 4 college football playoff games in a row against the SEC. Not regular season, not meaningless bowls, but in the college football playoff, head-to-head, Big Ten's won 4 straight. The Big Ten's won 3 straight national championships. And the Big Ten has 11 wins the past 2 years. 7 different teams, by the way. So you can't say, remember when the SEC kept getting discredited because other conferences were erroneously, mistakenly saying, well, it's just Alabama. That wasn't true then. Big Ten, 11 wins by 7 different teams the past 2 years, while the SEC only has 5 wins in that same stretch. And the commissioner, Tony Petitti, was making all this stuff clear. So that was some of the talking. I'd say the 2 biggies for me anyway. 1, they're still pushing 24. And 2, the commission's making it clear that they own the SEC. Now, this isn't a big talking point, but this was entertainment to me. I think even before their media days kicked off, Ohio State announced this jersey patch deal. Chase Bank, a heritage prestige deal. Chase Bank. And it was for the uniforms only. So every one of the Ohio State teams are going to have a Chase Bank logo. Deal $17 million a year. So that's an incredible deal. And of course, a blue blood, one of the most valuable programs in all of college athletics, would only do Chase Bank. They're not going to do Bob's Wagon Wheels. And it was the richest patch deal in college athletics ever. The problem is that did not last till lunch. I don't know if this was held back on purpose. Notre Dame said, hold my martini. And Notre Dame then announced, I think it lasted a little past lunch, somewhere about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Notre Dame announced the richest patch deal in history. Because Notre Dame reached a multi-year deal, patch for every sport, with SoFi Technologies. And their deal is worth a minimum of 18, and it could go up to 20. So a little one-upsmanship. Ohio State yesterday in the morning $17 million a year, Chase Bank, patch deal. And then Notre Dame, a little bit after lunch, about 1:30, announces an $18 million, up to $20 with SoFi Technologies, a patch deal. Now, the rest of the story, Lou edition. Do y'all remember the Big 12, that league, and they had their media days, and their big announcement was this endorsement branding deal with Monster Energy? And it was for patches, but also field imaging and branding. And like it was the Monster Energy media days. So it was all encompassing. Every Big 12 team is going Monster. And then again, the fields and the court monsters. An entire league, every team, every patch, every sport, and fields and courts, that deal was worth $20 million total and maybe $800,000 per school. And at the time, the deal was being mocked. It was a sham and ridiculed because it was thought in Michigan was the standard, that Michigan was turning down like $15 million deals just for their sports, not even fields. And now here's the reality of how bad that Big 12 school was, because the whole league got sold out for $20 million every school, and individual Ohio State $17 million, individual Notre Dame is $18 to $20. Does that tell you the lack of value of the individual Big 12 schools when every one of them went for $20 million total? By comparison, I enjoy the comedy of it all as an outside observer. I love the Big 12. When we come back, up next, we begin our SEC media days, the players, and it'll be Kentucky and their quarterback, Kenny Minchey, one of their reasons for hope for 2026. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. It's Wednesday. Wow. On the Zone.
Activate. Spin Cherokee football Saturdays, starting with the game day show, to the game, to the call-in show, and only on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
No more. I think I say this every time. I miss Push Monkey so bad. Used to catch them 2-3 times a year. They played College Station. It was a part of their regular touring cycle. They were the guaranteed rock, tear it up. It didn't matter where they played in town. Saw them at Ozfest. They were glorious. They were an ultimate live band experience. And I think I said it because every time I hear them, it brings back these incredible memories with my friends. Again, they were the guaranteed live rock act. They were so fantastic. Miss them, miss them, miss them. Time now. SEC Media Days roll on. Our listen-ins, and we're in the week 2 portion. What does that even mean? Players. We're listening to one player from every team. Here's Kentucky quarterback Kenny Minchey from SEC Media Days.
Am I talking to you or am I talking out?
You're talking to the crowd. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start the afternoon with the Kentucky Wildcats, and Kenny is a quarterback for them. He is ready for your questions. We'll start over here on the right side on the aisle.
Hey, Kenny, AP Stidham, AP as we see it. Kenny, you didn't throw many passes in college so far, but what did you learn in that short time?
I feel like I've learned how to prepare for a game, for a season. Every year since I've been a freshman, whether or not or where I'm at on the depth chart, I feel like I still try to prepare like the starter. So I feel like I've learned how to go into a week prepared. I feel like that's the biggest thing because the only thing that matters is Saturdays. So being able to be ready for a game that's coming up this Saturday and understand what the defense is doing and understand what we're doing as an offense.
Growing up where you did, that was SEC country. What made you go to Notre Dame? And as an SEC fan in your life, what struck you about the conference?
Going to Notre Dame out of high school, it was just a decision that was best for me and my family and my situation. And then obviously coming to Kentucky, coming to SEC, I just think it was a great opportunity. In high school, I played some good competition, and I wanted to do the same thing in college. So coming to the SEC, they got the best players. So I want to come play against the best and play with the best, and that's what I'm doing.
We'll go here in the aisle in the 4th row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and Bryan College Station. You had the opportunity to go to the Manning and Passing Academy. Just kind of, what was that experience like to you? And then also meeting some of your peer quarterbacks, and in particular Marcel Reed. Kind of what were your impressions of him?
It was a great experience being able to see some guys I played with in the past, Steve Angeli, CJ Carr, see some guys that I met in high school. It was good to see some old friends, and then just the experience as a whole was really fun. Being able to coach, it was my first time actually coaching. I've never done any sort of coaching before, so it was really cool to meet the kids and be able to teach them, because they kept preaching to us that these kids look up to us and these kids value us. So being able to coach them and try to make them better quarterbacks, and then also learning from Peyton and Eli, being able to sit down with them and listen to what they had to say about basically earning a spot on a team at the next level, and being able to hold on to that spot, and then simple things like week-to-week preparation, game week preparation. So it's good experience.
Left side.
Kenny, has anything surprised you since coming to Kentucky?
I can't say any surprises. One thing I will say is the connection on the team coming in. I feel like I thought I was going to be kind of like an oddball out in terms of having to meet everyone, learn everyone's name, and be kind of like the new guy, which I still have to do. Still have to meet everybody on the staff and on the team. But it's a new team, a lot of new coaches, except for one. So everybody was in the same boat as me, same situation as me. So it made it a little bit easier, just with everyone kind of doing the same thing in terms of, meeting teammates, learning who guys are, learning about guys, spending time with guys. And it was a very smooth transition in terms of people, which I feel like I valued and noticed the most in my first few months here.
To follow up on that, what's been your favorite part about Lexington so far?
I would say the weather. I'm from Nashville. It's only about 3 hours away from door to door, so it's what I'm used to in terms of growing up. This summer's a little hot, but I'm used to the heat, and then the cold not being too cold in the winter, except for the snowstorm we had in February this year in Lexington. But other than that, though, just the weather. Yeah.
Stay here in the aisle, second row.
Kenny, AP Stidham of AP as we see it. Kenny, what is your impression of Will Stein and the offense with Kentucky?
Initial impression of Will Stein is his energy on the phone, and then being able to meet him in person when I first got to Lexington. That was the first thing I noticed, was his energy, charisma, just how much he cared about football, and then about people. I could tell he cared about me and my family. I could tell he cared about the other guys that he was getting in the portal, the guys who were on the team, and then also just as a football coach, he's a great leader. I know people like to talk about him being a first-year head coach and all that stuff, but he definitely knows how to lead and knows how to rally some troops, which I've noticed for sure. And then, on the football side, he's really, really smart, comes from a good background in terms of coaching. He's pretty young. I don't know how old he is, but he's pretty young, but he's, coached a lot of football and called a lot of plays. And I'm just excited that he's my head coach, and I'm being able to play under a guy like him.
On the aisle, fourth row.
When you were at Notre Dame, you got to see a couple years them play Texas A&M. Kind of what, from your vantage point, saw from that team, and then it is a team that you had the opportunity to play this year.
Can you repeat the question?
When you were at Notre Dame, you saw Texas A&M. Just kind of what were your impressions, watching Notre Dame play the Aggies, and then as you get ready to play them this year?
Yeah, it's been the same coaches for the most part over there. So in terms of scheme, I could say I've definitely seen that before. And then also their defensive coordinator coming to coach for the Wildcats. So I see that scheme and that that defense every day in practice. But playing them the past 2 years, one at home and then one away, I can say I've been to been to their stadium before, so I know what the atmosphere is like. And, that's all I got to say.
On the aisle, fourth row.
Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports, Draft Nation here in Tampa. Obviously, team goals are the most important. What individual goals are you aspiring for to help that team win?
I can't say I've thought too much about real individual goals. I feel like my mindset is just, like you said, on the team, going 1-0 against Youngstown State. But individually, I'll say just doing my job and doing whatever it takes to win, and just being an efficient quarterback.
Hey, Kenny. Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. We covered Joe Sloan when he was coaching with LSU, and now he's your offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on him so far, and how has he helped you develop?
Coach Sloan's a great guy. He's one of the main reasons that I'm at Kentucky. Kind of like Stein, he's a great guy, great person to be around, a lot of energy, and he loves football. And obviously really smart. He's coached some really good quarterbacks in the past, and he knows what he's doing. So being able to learn under a guy like that who's coached some football, and then also coach some really good quarterbacks, which is obviously the position I play. So I want to play under people who have done it before.
Fourth row.
Going back to earlier, you said you had been to College Station, so you kind of knew what the environment atmosphere was like. What was that atmosphere like?
It was cool. We got to when I was at my previous school, we got to play at a few SEC stadiums, so it was a really cool experience. It was fun. It was lively. Obviously, it was I don't know what the teams were ranked at the time, but I know it was a pretty hyped up game. It was the first game of the season in 2024, so it was very hyped up, live atmosphere, a lot of fans, and yeah, it was just a good time.
We have time for a final question. Anybody else? There you go.
When you're standing in the tunnel for the first time in Lexington, are you going to have a goosebump moment?
For sure. I think I'll definitely have some nerves, some goosebumps all the way up until after the first play. That's generally how it always goes with me, And I feel like, most other football players who actually care about the game and who love the game, everybody's going to be a little bit nervous going out, whether it be first game of the season or it's week 12. You're still going to be a little nervous going out on the field. But I think after the first play, the goosebumps will go away.
Kenny, thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you.
That was Kenny Minchey, Kentucky quarterback. And again, he's part of their optimism, reason for hope. They were so excited when they picked him up. And up next will be LaNorris Sellers. Again, we're doing back-to-back players. We got to catch up. We're going to listen to one player from every team the Aggies will square off against. It's SEC Media Days, Week 2, here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric.
Listen to The Zone at radioaguilan.com. Oh. Thanks to Loyalty Plumbing. The pros at Loyalty Plumbing are ready to serve you, Aguilan. Visit them at loyaltyplumbingllc.net.
That silence there is because Caleb, whatever, Caleb, I think it is inside the Charles Schwab studio. Won't leave me alone, distracting me from my real job, entertaining the 8s upon 8s of people here. And Caleb Rapoli, you heard him Fridays in June on my show. From what I understand, he's either hosting or co-hosting Chip's show pretty much all of July is what it's kind of like. And we were just telling Robert Cessna stories. That's all. Cease is one of my favorite people in the entire universe. If Cease can't make you smile, your smile genes are broken. That's all I'm going to say. If Cease can't make you smile, that's a you problem. That is not a Cease problem. Our SEC Media Days continue here on the Louie Bellina Show. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio, and we're going to listen in to one player from every team, just like last week was one coach from every team. The Aggies are going to square off against this upcoming season.
3 of them are quarterbacks.
Oh, this is LaNorris Sellers.
And
yes,
he's here right now.
This guy won't stop talking, man.
Have something out there for
Here's
him.
LaNorris Sellers, South Carolina.
Okay, on the right-hand side.
Abby Miller with The Reflector from Mississippi State. As a quarterback, you're kind of the leader of the offense. So what's been your biggest focus preaching to your offense during this offseason?
Yeah, just attacking every day. We don't have a day to waste. I think we're like 45 or so days away from the first game, just taking it day by day, not rushing the process with a new system and stuff.
Second row in the aisle.
Hey, Lindsey Bonner, WAKA out of Montgomery, Alabama. Just wondering, kind of after a disappointing year last year, what's one thing that kind of gives you confidence about this year's team?
Just the drive and the focus that the guys have. We're still attacking every day, still in good spirit, still confident within ourselves and the team and the coaches. So
We'll go to the fourth row in the aisle and then pass it forward.
Hey, it's Peyton with SEC. Georgia's got added back to your schedule. How do you feel about that going into this season?
Yeah, just excited. I think the last time I went was when Spencer was the starting quarterback, and it was super exciting atmosphere. So looking forward to it.
On the aisle.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and Bryan College Station. When you look back at your guys' game in College Station last year, what do you feel like happened there at halftime, and what do you remember from that game and the comeback for A&M?
Yeah, I think we just kind of stalled. I think we just need to keep tacking, more or less. Not like, I won't say we took the foot off the gas, but we just need to finish. In those situations, there was a lot of games last year that we didn't finish in the fourth quarter. That was one of them. So we need to pick it up for this year.
What do you remember about their defense at Texas A&M?
Yeah, they stayed on us the whole game, just like every other defense we play. Super ferocious, physical. They communicated well. So,
fourth row in the back.
Xavier McKnight with WWSB in Sarasota. LaNorris, you were one of the guys last year who was considered a under-the-radar prospect who could have came out for the NFL draft, especially at the quarterback position. But you're back here for another year of college. What all went into your decision to come back for another year in Columbia and to not take that leap to go to the NFL just yet?
Yeah, just preparing for the long run. I could have rushed and went to the league and all that. Then who knows what would happen to my development, stuff like that. Just good to take another year, take those 12 games, play in college, learn the system, get the new looks, the new defenses, so I'm prepared for the NFL next year or whenever I decide to go.
Left side, third row.
Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports, Draft Nation here in Tampa. Obviously, team goals are at the top of your list. What individual goals do you aspire to get that team better?
Yeah, just be the best leader I can every day. Just do what I need to do to get our team to 10 to 12 wins, playoff run, national championship, just doing it day by day. If I get those goals, then everything else will take care of itself.
On the end, third row.
Over the last few years, it's become more common for players to enter the transfer portal, but you've stayed. Why did you choose South Carolina, and what made you stay there?
It's just a matter of, starting over. I built these relationships, got to know these guys, these coaches and all that. There's no need for me to go somewhere else that's not home for me, where I can go for a year and, like you said, enter the portal. There's no point in that. Stay here, learn the system, be consistent with the system and these guys.
On the aisle, second row.
David Cloninger, Post and Courier. LaNorris, do you ever think about your legacy at South Carolina? It's pretty rare to be a 3-year starter, but do you ever think about, what people will say about you 10 years from now?
I would say yes and no, because just sometimes it's good stuff, sometimes it's bad stuff, but definitely just the impact I leave on people, our fans, our stadium, our football team. So,
second row here.
One of the more iconic scenes in college football is when Sandstorm plays inside of Williams-Brice. Describe what those moments are like.
Yeah, it's just super exciting. I still get chills listening to it. Your heart starts beating before the game, seeing the smoke run out there. You just go blind for a little bit, running out to the stadium, hearing the music, seeing the fans, the cockaboose and all that. So it's just super exciting to see on Saturdays.
Third row on the right.
Michael Sauls with the State. LaNorris, I'm curious, what do you think about Kendall Brown's system that can bring the best out of somebody like Nick as he enters his fourth year?
Yeah, it's exciting. He's put up numbers in all the offense he's played in. Got the guys the ball in space, stuff like that. A guy like Nick who's fast, who can take the top off defenses with the run, set up the run, and then take a deep shot over their heads. Or even he's gotten better at this aspect, short routes, just catching and running. So excited for him.
Third row on the end.
I'm going to follow up a little bit on her question. You talked about how exciting it is to be at Williams-Brice Stadium, standing in that tunnel. Do you always get those goosebumps every game, no matter what? And is that important to a competitor?
Yeah, definitely. Just it's pretty much your call team to let you know, like, hey, like it's time to go, like it's time to lock in, get ready to go.
On the aisle.
Hey, LaNorris, Jordan K. at the State. You obviously live in Columbia. You hear from South Carolina fans all the time. What was it like, the offseason after the Clemson, of hearing all about that game 2 years ago? And then what has it been like for you this offseason? I mean, do people remind you? Do they lift you up? Do they thank you for coming back? What's it been like?
Yeah, definitely. Like I see, like you said, fans all the time everywhere, Columbia, Charleston, the beach, stuff like that. They just like supportive. They're supportive. They still show up to everything. I had a camp last week. They were there. There for my family, like checking in, stuff like that. So just super supportive, and they love this team.
On the aisle, third row.
LaNorris, I mean, you've been around the league a little bit, so I don't know how well you know all the other quarterbacks in the SEC. But with Marcel Reed, kind of what do you see from him as a quarterback?
Yeah, super athletic. He lit us up that second half, that's for sure. But I was with him at Manning. Cool guy, like I love him. He's funny. He's talkative. Easy to talk to, I would say. So yeah, I really enjoy him.
On the right.
This isn't your first time here at SEC Media Days. What does it mean to you to return again for another year?
Yeah, it just shows hard work put in, like as a leader of this team. So just excited to be able to talk for my team. They sent me, they trust me. So
go on the back, on the left.
One of the former quarterbacks of the Gamecock Brotherhood is Steven Garcia. He was diagnosed with cancer a few months ago. Big story in the sports world is what it became. First question for you is, have you had a chance to be around Steven in your time at South Carolina? And also, second question as a follow-up to that, what are you all doing as a program currently to rally around him during this battle?
Yeah, I've been around him a lot. Just around Columbia at game stuff, I see him, restaurants, eating around town when he's in town. I talked to him before we came here, actually. He texted me, he was like, I'll be around Media Day today. So I'm going to stop by, wish him well. And just all we can, like anything he needs, he knows he can call me, Beamer, Wheezy, any of those guys, anybody else on the team. I'm pretty sure I'd step up and help him as well.
On the right.
I think it's the guys that you had last year, 2 years ago. You and Josh Simon had a really good connection. Is it important to you to kind of get back that tight end pass catcher connection this year?
Yeah, definitely. Not just tight end, but pretty much everybody. Like anybody I can, the more options, the better. So.
Third row.
Nick is a guy whose production has steadily increased, year after year. Do you think maybe in his senior year this is a guy who could put up 1,000 yards of receiving? And then how can you help him maybe achieve that goal if you think so?
Yeah, definitely. I think the sky's the limit for Nick. He's put in the work. He's put in the time. He deserves everything that comes with him, and he'll have a good season this year for sure.
Any other questions? Another one here on the right.
What stadium are you most excited to travel to this season?
Let's see. I've never been to Florida, so I know I've heard about the environment and all that, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Is there one that you won't get to that you'd like to get to?
I'm trying to think, where haven't I been? I don't know. I like exploring and traveling, so any new stadium I get to go to, I'm looking forward to that. One final question here on the aisle.
Is there a battle in practice between you and Dylan Stewart that always sticks out to you?
Let's see. That first year on campus, and then going into last year, like it's pretty much every day. Just because, I'm pretty much reading him on read options and all that. He's figured out how to I won't say stop it, but he gets lucky every now and then. I'll say that.
Well, LaNorris, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
That was one of our most fascinating listen-ins yet. LaNorris Sellers, quarterback, South Carolina. And on the Louie Bellina Show week 2, we listened to one player from every team the Aggies are going to square off against. Man. Okay, why was that so fascinating? I think he only gave 3 answers that had more than one sentence. I don't know if any sentence had more than 6 words. He's very succinct. Very succinct. If you were with us yesterday, we commented and observed on the Goosebumps guy. There's the one reporter there that is obsessed, it seems, with asking every player about goosebumps, getting goosebumps. What's it like in the tunnel? And even the way he asked the question is kind of over the top, right? If you were listening, and this was awesome, There was another reporter that kind of stole his thunder by asking about how excited. She didn't use the goosebumps about playing at the stadium and everything. But Goosebumps guy was not going to not ask his question, so he had to rephrase it and rework it. Instead of the getting of the goosebumps, it was how important was the goosebumps. And I'm sitting here, I'm sorry, and maybe this is just me. But when I heard her ask that question, I'm like, oh no, poor Goosebumps guy. And no, he was not going to not ask it. And the way he reworked it, which again was like how important is it? And the players have to play along with this. Because again, what do you think? Seriously, right? What do you think the answer is going to be? No, it does nothing for me. I'm dead inside and have no feeling when we hear the school fight song, Power, or Sandstorm. Like, and the way he asked it too. But no, he fought through it and still asked it. I'm getting my own cheesy fun out of these listen-ins. There's something wrong with me. It's okay. College football players are reporting. It's all around the corner. I'll be right back. Goosebump guy. Nah, you ain't stealing my question. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, where they do commercial, residential, and industrial. That's CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Wednesday on the Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. Dial 979-693-1150. Hello. To visit with him. Hello. Or to win. Hello. On the D4 Land Services Hotline. Dial 979-693-1150.